Sebastian Lague is a popular YouTuber and game developer known for his game development videos. I figured I'd play his games and review them in order from worst to best, excluding ones that aren't really games as well as a few that didn't work properly, which leaves us with 15 games to review. Blindfold Chess Trainer is an experimental chess game where you play a computer with less and less information. There's the regular board where you play chess against an AI opponent, but you can pick from different blindfold boards where you can only show the pieces a few times per game or not at all. I'm already bad at chess even when I can see the board, so this was not fun for me. Mate in 1 is a chess game where you have to find the correct solution to get a checkmate in just one move. Every time you get a checkmate you get a point, but because it's another chess game, my high score was 1. You only get 10 seconds to find the correct move, so combine that with my terrible chess skills and it made for another not a good time. Chess AI is a basic chess game where you play against an AI opponent. It's literally just chess versus a computer, so you already know where I stand. Spirit Rover is a chill game where you enter in inputs for a Mars rover to guide it to the finish. You enter in commands like accelerate left and right, for example, then attach a number value to that to determine how long the rover will perform that action. You end up with a sequence of commands that controls the rover. Every time you fail, you can rewrite any commands to try and fix your mistake. This does lead to a lot of trial and error, but that's the whole point of the game. Splotch 2 is a ball bouncing puzzle type game where you try to get balls to reach their colored exit. The balls are always bouncing, so you have to draw lines with your mouse to try and guide them to either their colored orb that unlocks their exit or their actual exit. Levels can have multiple balls that you have to guide to their exits, but it's very difficult since the balls are always moving. If a ball flies off screen or hits a spiky object, then they get killed and you have to restart, which makes a few levels seem actually impossible. Dave's Last Hope is a Game Boy style platformer where you continuously fall to avoid fire that's falling from the sky. As you're falling through gaps, you want to be on the lookout for fire on the ground and green tokens. The fire damages you over time, so it's best to avoid or jump over those, and the green tokens give you points and restore some health, so it's good to pick those up if they're not too far away. You're scored based on how far you get along with your points from green tokens. Space Turtle is a game where you play as a giant turtle towing a planet through space while dodging asteroids. You have to weave through an endless barrage of rocks, and the longer you last, the more points you get. Occasionally there will be a gold nugget you can collect, which gets you a score multiplier. I loved how the game is very tense but has a calming aesthetic. This Little Piggy is a first-person game where you try to make a potato salad. You go around your tiny planet in search of ingredients. Once you collect enough ingredients, you make your potato salad but decide to add one last thing. Upon killing a pig for bacon, a portal opens up and you're attacked by pigs from another planet, so naturally you defend yourself with guns and have to run around killing all of the invading pigs. May the Best Man Win is a tower defense style game where you defend yourself from endless hordes of enemies. You're placed in the middle of 8 lanes and have to survive for as long as possible before an enemy hits you. You control which direction your character attacks to hit enemies with projectiles. Every time an enemy gets killed, you get money which you can spend in the shop on towers that you place on specific tower locations or on upgrading your weapon, which also has a limited supply of ammo. It gets really tense as enemies start to overwhelm you, but once you die, you'll want to try a new strategy. Geographical Adventures is an airplane game where you fly around a miniature version of the world delivering packages. It's not really a full game or anything, but the game uses geographical data to model a mini version of Earth. You're given 3 locations that you can pick from to deliver your package to. This game made me realize how bad I was at geography because the closest I got to delivering a package was New York City and I was still off a bit. The game has a gorgeous day-night cycle and different regions of the map have different landscapes depending on their climate. Last Chance Supermarket is a first-person game where you play as a frantic shopper getting last-minute Christmas presents. You're always moving forward and steer the cart with your mouse. You have to be careful though because there are other shoppers running around and if you hit them you have to restart. The goal is to get all of the items on your list, which you do by getting close to items and frantically mashing spacebar. Create a Game series is a simple top-down shooter that was the end product of Sebastian's Create a Game series. There are 5 rounds in the game, with each one having you kill a certain amount of enemies before moving on to the next, with the last round being endless. It's surprisingly fun as you have to be constantly on the move to avoid the enemies always spawning in. Each new round you're given a new weapon and the board changes, so you have to change up your attack strategy. The Resistance is a puzzle platformer where you play as batteries. Puzzles require you to play as multiple batteries to reach the exit. Whenever you move one battery, you can rewind time and play as a new battery, but the one you previously moved will perform the same movements as last time. You use the batteries to power moving platforms to form a path to the exit, which means you have to sync up the movement of multiple batteries. There's only a few levels, but the concept made for a thought-provoking challenge. Infection is a top-down shooter where you play as a man's immune system fighting off an infection. There's a constant flood of germs rushing in and you're armed with a gun to stop them. The gun on its own isn't super effective, but when you kill enemies, they drop tokens. You can then spend the tokens in the shop on health and ammo, but also 3 different towers that can be placed around the map to help kill enemies. The further you get, the harder the enemies become until you last long enough to make it to the next round. Swordfish is a game where you play as a hacker trying to steal money. Gameplay consists of a variety of mini-games which serve as the hacking, like typing, snake, and dodging missiles because of the firewall. Because everyone knows you play snake to hack computers. An interesting twist is that the monitors don't exactly line up with each other, making it harder to gauge where you'll end up when you transfer across them. All of the mini-games are well designed and the game is short but satisfying. Those were all of Sebastian Lague's games ranked from worst to best. Obviously they weren't all meant to be amazing as some were made really fast for game jams, but I just thought it would be fun to play through most of them. I made a video ranking Dani's games as well, which I'll have linked in the description, as well as my playlist about free games on Steam and free games on itch.io. Thanks for watching and be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future.